Hello everyone. We are making a small video on how to stitch a tote bag. Now for your practical, each one of you has received a denim fabric which is about 1/4 meter fabric cut like this. Now how are you going to work with this fabric and how do you create your own bag? So you need to cut the bag in the center and then you need to start working. Now when I mean center, it is parallel to the selvage that you are going to cut it on straight grain. So the bag is going to be made on straight grain. So to start off, I am cutting the bag into 2 pieces, the fabric into 2 pieces, so that we can have the front and the back of the bag made easy. Now once we have the fabric cut into 2 pieces, for ease, I have already done markings here with which we are going to work. Now I have marked 2 centimeters at the bottom and 2 centimeters each on the sides, which is going to be used for sewing. At the bottom we will be using run and fell seam. On the sides we will be using French seam. Now typically these seams require 1 or 1.5 centimeters, but because we are using denim and this fabric is thicker, we will stitch it at a slightly more distance so that we get a neater finish. In addition to that, the upper part where the opening of the bag will get folded twice. So 2 inches have been left for that, for the top folding. This is the marking that I have done for the strap attachment, and here is what we need to make the box of the bag. So at the lower corner you have to do a marking of 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and this is going to get cut. So this is something we will cut right away and then we will proceed with the sewing. So here we've cut out the 2 pieces on the side, which was the square corner that we had marked of 2.5 by 2.5 inches. Now this was not including the seam allowance, this is excluding the seam allowance. So if you can see, there is a marking here and here for the seam for the side and the bottom of the bag. Beyond that I have left 2.5 by 2.5 and cut out a square. Same on this side. So this comes off and then we can start with the stitching. Just a little bit of word on what are the other materials that you're going to need. So in addition to this fabric, you will need about a 5.5 inch piece of Velcro, which is going to be used for fastening the bag. And you will need 2 straps. Now the straps may have been provided to you, or you can buy ready straps, or you can stitch the straps the way I have. So you can have a strap of 1 inch ready width. Now to attach the straps, we will get started with the sewing first and then we will proceed with the rest. To beautify the bag, I am also attaching a pocket on one side. You can either do printing, painting, or attaching a pocket as per the instructions given to you in your regular class. For now, I am attaching a pocket on one side of the bag, which has been cut. So I am going to start by attaching the pocket first on the fabric and then proceed with the rest of the stitching. Let me attach the pocket first. Does anybody have bead-headed pins? I am placing the pocket on the right side of the fabric and I am pinning it in place to indicate the position where I am going to stitch this. Now this pocket, I have just cut it out randomly in a size which will be able to accommodate my mobile phone only, which is what we need on a regular basis in our hand. So I have just pinned the pocket piece. Before stitching the pocket, I have just done the top edge finishing of the pocket so that there are no raw edges visible. Once I have done that, then I am placing the pocket and I am going to sew it on the 3 sides and complete it. So I have my pocket ready. Let me sew this and show it to you. So I am sewing the edges of the pocket securely so that it can be used as a functional pocket. At the corners, I've just pierced the needle in the fabric. I'm lifting the pressure foot and turning it. This helps in getting perfect corners when you machine. So this is how the attached pocket look like. Since this is a darker side, I'll turn it around and show it to you on the wrong side so you can follow the sewing line and see how the pocket has been stitched. I have done a double stitching on both the edges of the pocket so that it stays in place. Now to continue further, I'm going to start stitching the bag together, the two pieces of the bag. So the right side of the fabric is going to go inside. It is right side facing right side. And I'm first going to start by stitching a run and fell seam here. To know how to stitch a run and fell seam, refer to my previous video given in the link below. So this is the second machining which I'm doing for the run and fell seam. After trimming the fabric, I'm flattening it and doing my second stitching. So this is my final run and fell seam, which is at the bottom of the bag. We are choosing to do run and fell seam. It's going to add more firmness to the bag. We don't want to use a simple plain seam which will open up easily. This is the wrong side of the run and fell seam where you can see the two machining lines, and this is the right side of your run and fell seam. Let's stitch further. You all can also see you all can make this bag for any kind of use, as it is very functional, not necessary for the purpose of a college assignment. Now to stitch further, we have to sew the sides together. We will be using French seam on both the sides. So the first machining is going to be done on the right side of the fabric and the second machining will be done on the wrong side of the fabric. For a detailed video on how to stitch French seam, please refer to the link below. So here we are stitching the second side seam, and if you can see, we are stitching parallel to the selvage, maintaining straight grain for the bag. Once the French seam is completed on both the sides, then we have to stitch the squares which are going to form the box. Now to stitch the square, you need to hold it at the corner and you need to open out the fabric. Now when you open out the fabric, your bottom seam, this is your base seam, run and fell, and this is your French seam which you have just completed. Both of these will align together and this sits together just perfectly. Stitch this complete edge using plain seam at 1 centimeter distance. Complete the other edge also in the same ways to make the box at the base of your bag. So here, this is the corner that I just showed. We are sewing that corner. Instead of doing a single machining, we will do double machining so that it has good strength when you use the bag. This is my single machining is complete. Now I'm just going to turn the bag around to the other side and I'm going to stitch again on the same line. This will reinforce the seam and ensure that it remains strong throughout. Stitch the other side exactly the same ways. So both the corners have been stitched and the box is ready. Let's turn it to the right side. The edge of the French seam and the edge of the run and fell seam meet perfectly. This is how it has to be stitched. the edge of the French seam and the edge of the run and fell seam meet perfectly. This is how it has to get stitched. The last thing that remains is the strap attachment as well as the folding and the finishing of this edge. Now for your strap attachment, you have to measure the entire distance. This is about 14 inches. Leave 3.5 inches from one side, 3.5 inches from the other side, and this is the marking for the strap to be attached. So the straps have been made ready already. So the strap is going to be placed at this position like so, and then in the center you will have the Velcro which will be attached here in the center to fasten the bag. This is how the positioning is going to be. So 3.5 inches on one side, 3.5 inches on the second side, 1 inch for the strap, and then a 5.5 inch Velcro in the center. Let's stitch. So here at the top edge, I have just folded the raw edge inside and kept a ready edge of 1 inch, and here I'm going to stitch this entire edge. Now while I'm stitching this, I can insert the strap at the position and stitch it along with my edge machining like this, so that when I open it out, I just have to do a finishing machining on the right side, and my strap attachment is also going to be very firm. If I directly attach it outside like this, it will not be very firmly attached. So fold it in along with the fold of your bag and place it like this and machine it along with the entire bag. So as discussed earlier, I have pinned the straps at the position inside, and we will start stitching this complete edge, the lower edge, so that it gets stitched, and later we will also be doing the top edge machining, which we will do after placing the Velcro in position. So first let's get started with the lower edge machining. Very easily my strap has also got stitched along with the, you can see this, my strap has also got stitched. Continue stitching and complete the edge machining. Now once the lower edge machining is done, I remove the pin here to show it to you. My strap is already attached. I will reinforce it with further stitching. However, before that, now I am going to place my Velcro, which is 1 inch wide, and I am going to place it here 5.5 inches as mentioned earlier, and we will stitch the edge of the Velcro along with the top edge machining of the bag, so that my bag and straps will be held in position along with my bag edge machining itself. So here, this is where I'm pinning it in position, and I'm going to stitch this here. Let's So Velcro simplest fasteners can be directly attached with a single edge machining on both the sides, and it stays in place. And here you can see my Velcro along with my strap, the top edge machining has been completed. I will continue it like so for the entire edge. Strap. On every strap you can do a reinforcement like this by making a square so that the handle will not come off with regular use. So you can mark a square like this on every strap. If you want added reinforcement, you can also mark diagonal lines, which will make the bag look attractive also and more reinforced. So with this, we have completed the stitching of our bag. Let me turn it upside down and show it to you. Let's just trim the edges and finish it well. And this is what your ready bag looks like. Instead of the pocket, you can have printing, embroidery, or any other embellishment of your choice. Straps can be of the same fabric or they can be made with a different fabric. Thank you.